Let me know when you guys have scanned in. I don't want to move on before everyone gets their attendance credit. If you have any questions signing in or marking your attendance, just let me know and I can help or try to help.
What am I supposed to do after scanning the QR code?
You're gonna look for the Pinji event, the growth mindset,
Okay.
and
I
then
click
you're
join
gonna,
event.
yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
of course.
Is there another way we're able to sign in? Because it's not letting me do it.
Hmm. I can take your information down and just remind me at the end of our presentation so then I can like message some of my higher up so that we can include you in the attendance. We'll need your like student ID and your email, your student email.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Here, I'm gonna send another link. Um, and then do you say Kayla? Is that how you say it? Kalia? I sent another link, so see if you can try that.
Okay, it's Kalia. You got it correct.
Oh, awesome. Very pretty name. So yeah, if anyone else was struggling to get that attendance in, you can try this link right here. Thank you, Jess. Now I'll give you guys, when I click to join event, it sent to me an email. Yeah, you're registered for the event now. So it's like showing that you're here. So that's perfect. Good question, Emma. And then I'm gonna give you guys another minute. Just let me know if you guys need some more time on this screen. Does it show that I'm registered? Um, I can't check that right now, but I will count your I will count the attendance and names and stuff in case it doesn't show up, so we can make sure you get your attendance. Oh, cool. Jess is here. She's kind of like the IT right now, helping out behind the scenes. So she said it does show up. So you are all good, Kaden. Awesome. So I'm going to go to the next slide now. And then throughout the presentation, if you guys have any questions or comments, you can feel free to put them in the chat or to unmute your mic and then just talk. Everyone on here has registered, so that's perfect. You guys are all now good to go and enjoy the presentation. So first off, we have the Student Academic Resource Center and a page of what we do. We're a really big department, so we help out in a ton of ways. Um, One of the really awesome events that we have is called Study Union, and we do this in the spring and in the fall. And it's like a huge review session with all of the courses from engineering to statistics to chemistry to accounting. Um, yeah. So yeah, Maria, you won't need to do anything after the confirmation email. At the end, there is going to be like a feedback survey for us just so that we can learn how to improve and make, the presentations better. So that'll be the only other thing that you have to do besides the activity, of course. Um, so yeah, with study union, we do that twice a year. And then we also have peer tutoring. That's another like subset in our department. So we have peer tutoring, ACE consultations, and then supplemental instruction, which is SI. All of them are about helping the student body. ACE consultations are a little bit more focused on like goals and getting you to your goals. Peer tutoring and supplemental instruction are a little more tutoring focused. SI does a very unique model. So when you go to SI sessions, you probably will see like group work in every session because we believe that group work really helps students figure out the problems. And then another thing that we have is academic success workshops. So those are also another wonderful and free resource that we have at SARC. Um, I'm curious, has anyone ever come to SARC before, whether it's for peer tutoring, SI, or ACE, or even like study union? No, yes. We're located in Trevor Colburn Hall, but some of the like SI supplemental instruction sessions, for instance, those are outside of the SARC building. So you could have seen us around. Um, I'm always curious if people have used our resources because they're free. So, that's really, really awesome. And they truly help the student body too. So if you guys haven't checked out SARC, you should definitely check us out. Um, so then moving on into the agenda. So we're going to learn how thoughts and beliefs affect performance, motivation, and your well being. We're also going to identify some limiting beliefs that people have, along with differentiating between a growth and a fixed mindset. And then we're also going to develop strategies for healthy life balance because I'm sure you guys all understand in college there's so many factors that happen. You could have kids, you could have pets, you could live at home or, you know, live by yourself where you're doing a lot of financial obligations. So that healthy life balance is super important because everyone has something going on. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. So at first, I thought it was really important to go into the negative cycle, the negative thought cycle that so many people fall into. Um, your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors are all interconnected. And that's why having a positive mindset helps you so much because your thoughts create feelings. And these feelings create behaviors. And then these behaviors reinforce your thoughts. Um, so yeah, I thought that this was a really helpful visual too to see. So this is the negative cycle that so many people can go into, and it's applicable to all situations, whether relationships, um, like job stuff, even academics. This negative cycle can really reinforce negative outcomes. So I wanted to talk about this cycle, that negative cycle in real life. I want you guys to imagine this. You have a presentation. That thought is, I'm going to do really bad. I bet I will even get a bad grade. The feeling is, I can't do this. My heart is racing, my palms are sweating. And that behavior is, you get so nervous that you call out of class, losing participation points in class. Um, so you're able to see how that cycle is creating thoughts that are affecting your feelings, and then that's even affecting your behavior. Those negative thoughts led to a kind of a like self-fulfilling prophecy where you thought you couldn't do something, so you instead don't do it to protect yourself. And then there's a little bit more negative consequences that could happen too. Instead of maybe doing the presentation, maybe practicing too to make sure that you understand the material. Yeah, I'm going to take another water break. Drink your water if you have any next to you. Okay. So I was curious for you guys, what are some of your limiting beliefs? I know I have a ton, to kind of give you guys ideas. Sometimes, like a limiting belief is just something that makes you feel like you can't do something. So, a limiting belief for me is everything has to be really, really perfect. And it limits me because nothing's perfect. And so by trying to make sure everything's going okay, I'm actually kind of sometimes getting in my own way. Um, so that's one of my limiting beliefs. Do you guys have any that you're comfortable sharing or typing? Overthinking that there will be a perfect answer if I analyze it long enough. Yes, overthinking and perfectionism are huge limiting beliefs. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sharing. Um, yeah, I'm curious, like Maria, Kalia, Kaden. Wait, I feel like I just said your name wrong. Kalia. Say it again.
Kalia.
Kalia. Okay, I did say it right. Do you have a negative, like a limiting beliefs that sometimes you get stuck in?
Mm, the overanalyzing is one. Um, I mean, others projecting
Yeah,
onto
that's a big
you
one.
and then
Mm-hmm.
taking that on as if it's yours, but it's not necessarily mine. So
Yeah,
just
like,
that.
mm-hmm. That's a really good one. Thank you. Like holding those beliefs of what other people have put onto you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then I see Kaden. I also need everything to be perfect. I would have problems writing essays because of this. Yeah. You guys are all bringing up some really good ones. The overthinking, the perfectionism, the projections, procrastination. Yes, that limiting belief. Like if I wait a little bit more time, I'll be so much more motivated in the end. Or it might go quicker if I wait later, which, you know, sometimes that just makes us a little more stressed, not knowing where to start, so not starting at all. Yeah, Emma, thank you so much. These are really good. I mean, they're negative, but these are solid limiting beliefs. Not knowing where to start. Yeah, the procrastination. Yeah. So thank you so much. Um, so these are just kind of things I'm sure that you guys all know that kind of get in our own way. They can be roadblocks. Like you know that you can do something, you know you're smart, you know you have motivation, but these thoughts are just kind of giving us that barrier so that we can't really get to our goal or that there's a couple more obstacles in the way. Um, so you guys talked about a lot of the things that I had written down. So some types of limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, feeling like, yeah, I got here, but I don't think I deserve it. Perfectionism, which a lot of us talked about. Worried about age or experience, feeling like, maybe I don't belong here. And then that comparison, this could even go with projection too, that Kalia had talked about. I didn't include Emma's, which is not knowing where to start, so not starting at all. But that's a really good one. I feel like if I did include it here, like maybe overwhelmed, like freeze block would be some wording for it. Um, and then some more types of limiting beliefs, believing that you are unworthy of doing it, a scarcity mindset. So maybe I'm thinking, well, Maria's already doing that, so maybe I shouldn't because there's probably not enough room for both of us. fear of judgment, and then also fear of being a burden. Like if I get into this position, um, maybe it won't be good for me. Maybe other people will need, like I'll need people too much and they won't want that. Fear of being seen, visibility, yeah. So we have that fear of not being seen, but then also being seen too much. That's a really good one. Thank you so much. Um, I'm curious now, like since we've talked to each other and kind of went through some of those, did you learn any new limiting beliefs or maybe some that you got reminded of? Like, oh yeah, I definitely do that. Like for example, me with Emma, I really relate to the not knowing where to start. That can also kind of lead into procrastination too, but I definitely relate to that. I'm curious if you guys found any new ones too.
That imposter syndrome is real. I can say on occasions I
Yeah.
felt that,
Hmm.
but never felt that before. So yeah.
Yeah, imposter syndrome is sneaky. It is not fun feeling at all. Cause you guys did the work. Like even here right now, like we're all at UCF and all of us did something in our past that got us here. Like whether it was your grades, whether it was your personal statement, your GRE or AC or not GRE, your SAT and ACT. Um, like we all did steps to get here, and I'm sure sometimes some of you guys, I know I do, like walk into a class like, oh, this seems really hard, I'm nervous, or man, like everyone looks really smart, I wonder how I will be in comparison. So we got that comparison mixed with imposter syndrome. It can definitely be a slippery slope, but we're going to be talking about how to get off the slippery slope. So, staying aware of your stress and focusing on what you can control are two huge components that are going to be helpful. Um, if your age and experience or something that maybe you're thinking about, like, oh, I got a new job, I'm the youngest one there, or maybe even the oldest one there. Like, how will I compare to my colleagues? But focusing on what you can control because we can't change your age. We can't do that. Um, that can really put a calmness in you too. Like, yeah, I might be a little older, maybe a little younger, but I'm still here. Like, I'm still kicking. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm meeting my expectations, and that's enough. And then staying aware of your stress. I don't know about you guys, but there's so many different ways that you can kind of check in with yourself, whether it's like journaling, whether it's like just like a little somatic check-in where you're asking yourself, hey, is my heart doing okay? Um, like, am I feeling calm? Are my hands sweaty? Am I cold or hot? Um, so just checking in with yourself because a lot of times with stress, your body can send you signals. Um, I'm curious for you guys, do you guys get signals when you're feeling stressed or maybe not the like in a good headspace? For me, my hands get really sweaty and my heart races. So that's kind of how I know that, maybe I need to check in with myself a little more right now because I might not be feeling super comfortable with the situation or like super positive. Anyone else get sweaty hands? Or like, what do you guys have when you're feeling stressed? Like, what are those somatic cues for you? Irritation and anxious. Yeah. Those are some really powerful ones because they do come with stress. Those emotional burdens that kind of start to come up. Um, my therapist, this is self-disclosure, but we've talked about my triggers so that I can make sure that I'm being like positive, being like regulated. And one of my triggers is stress. And that can actually make me act like irritated or anxious too. So I'm really glad you talked about that and brought that up. Heart rate goes up and clenches my jaw. Yeah, so like Rebecca compared to Kelia has more of those physical symptoms, whereas she has more of those like emotional ones with the irritation and anxiousness. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. So now we're going to talk about that mindset and changing it because we want to do well. You guys are all here. Um, so a fixed versus a growth mindset. This is a huge, huge thing that you guys will probably see again if you guys ever come to SARC presentations. We love talking about this because this is where it starts. Um, a fixed mindset is probably what many of us, like perfectionism and overthinkers, have. We're a little bit more harsh. We're a little bit more of that inner critic coming out. So failure is the limit of my abilities. I'm either good at it or I'm not. My abilities are unchanging. I don't like being challenged. When I'm frustrated, I give up. It's a lot more black and white. Feedback and criticism are personal, and also they like to stick to what they know. So they're not trying new things. They're also not liking feedback because they think that it's attacking them instead of helping them grow. Whereas the growth mindset, instead of failure is a limit, failure is an opportunity to grow. They can learn to do anything that they want. There's possibilities. Challenges help me grow. My effort and attitude determine my abilities. Feedback is constructive, not critical. And I'm inspired by success of others. So instead of that jealousy that some of us can feel, it's more of like inspiration and abundance, like a realization of, oh, you did that. I can do that too. Compared to a fixed mindset, oh, you did that? Dang. Oh, I guess you got to it first. Man, I should have done it first. Um, so there's more room. There's just more room to be. There's more room to make mistakes. There's more room to grow. And they like to try new things. I feel like sometimes, maybe with a fixed versus a growth mindset, a lot of us were born in, with growth mindsets. We were born with that trial and error situation, like riding bikes, learning to ride scooters, and honestly, like childhood is just learning. But then there's somewhere it seems like maybe middle school, maybe early elementary, who knows? It's different for everyone, but we start to realize that mistakes maybe aren't seen the best, and we get a little scared to make them. We don't want to be seen doing that error part. So we also stop doing that trial part. Um, so yeah, I love the fixed versus growth mindset. I think that it's so helpful, especially for people who see really black and white. Um, so then this is another very beautiful visual for the fixed versus growth mindset, where intelligence and talent are innate, which means something that you just have. You either have it or you don't have it. You're born with it or you're not born with it. It's saying with growth, intelligence and talent are dynamic and can be improved. So it's not innate, it's open to change. And then a fixed mindset, to strive is to have no talent. But then growth is saying passion for challenges. Um, Another one, a dislike of criticism or feedback, whereas actually feedback and failure are used as a learning opportunity instead. So instead of disliking it, you're hoping for it, you're open to it. Um, and then the last one is the success of others is a threat. A growth mindset would say a focus on the processes, not the outcome. So looking more at what you're doing instead of what other people are doing. I feel like we've talked a lot about comparison, and fixed mindsets are stuck in that comparison bubble. They're stuck in that perfectionism, and it's pretty unfortunate. So, how do we develop a growth mindset? Clearly, this is the mindset that's a little bit more favorable to have. It's a little more gentle, less self critical, more exploratory. So how do we do it? You got to cultivate a sense of purpose. It's going to look different for everyone, but this is how you're going to help yourself when it comes to those comparisons. Maybe Maria, you're like right next to my name, so it's very easy to use you. Like maybe Maria has a huge mansion. She has a mega mansion. She's a doctor. She's getting so much like abundance financially. And then maybe I'm jealous and looking at her like, But then remembering my sense of purpose, maybe my sense of purpose is like helping like the lower class. So maybe like that mega mansion and that surge in paycheck isn't something as applicable to me because my sense of purpose is something different. Um, and that really puts you with your own glasses, instead of wearing glasses that you're looking at everyone else with, it puts you back into your own body. And you're like, wait. That's not even my goal. Why am I jealous? Like my goal is something completely different. And then viewing challenges as opportunities. This isn't always going to be easy, Um, viewing challenges as opportunities, you can still be gentle with yourself. Be like, man, I didn't realize that was going to be happening. This is kind of a change in my plans. But, you can move with it. You can go with it. Like you're flexible and you're resilient. Um, thinking realistic about your effort for tasks and goals. So when you're developing a growth mindset, check in with yourself and make sure that you are setting realistic expectations for yourself. If I've never gone on a run ever in my life, and then I tell myself that next week I'm going to run 5 miles, like that's crazy. And also sounds kind of painful. Um, you need to be realistic with yourself. Maybe I say I'm going to walk a mile next week. That's way more realistic with my current state. And then acknowledging and embracing your imperfections. This can be a little cheesy to hear sometimes, but it's true. Everything about you makes you you. Like your lore is unique to whoever you are. Like Caden doesn't have the same lore as Fernanda. Or, yes, Fernanda. Guys, I'm really trying to pronounce everyone's names properly. Um, but yeah, you guys have different like skills, different strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, imperfections are going to come out, especially when you're trying something new, or especially when you're developing your skill set. And that's okay. So I'm curious for everyone, like, how do you overcome negative thought patterns? Like, we've talked about it, like, okay, some of you guys overthink, some of you are perfectionists, some of you worry with imposter syndrome. How do you keep going? I'm curious. Like, yeah, perfectionism and procrastination, all of those happen, but I mean, how do you keep going to class? How do you do your assignments, do your other responsibilities? Ooh, keep in mind of my why and what's the end goal. Yes, I love that. That's very related to that sense of purpose and like thinking realistic. Um, really love that. Repeat positive words of affirmations. Oh, that is such a good one. That is such a good one. I love positive affirmations, especially when you do have like a self-critic in your head. Kind of canceling out those thoughts can be super helpful. So thank you both of you for bringing in such like different but super helpful ways that you do this. Um, yeah, with positive affirmations, I like to think in my head that there's like a tennis match going on and there's like negative balls being thrown and I'm hitting them like, no, I'm awesome. Yeah, I'm a great person. So I don't know if that visual is helpful for you guys, but hopefully. Ooh, set a good enough standard in advance. Yeah, give yourself some expectations to reach. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's like a saying, like when we get to adulthood, you're your own parent. So, maybe sometimes your parents had hard expectations on you, but some of them might have really helped you grow. So you get to be your own parent. I really like what Rebecca said. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, all of you guys gave really good ones. Thank you. I hope that this is also helpful for all of you when you're looking at it too. Like keeping in mind what everyone has said. I usually talk to someone like a friend or teacher, and they remind me that not everything has to be perfect. Kaden, that is so amazing because we need to rely on our community. Sometimes I think that we can forget that there's all of us to lean on. Even at UCF, like this is a huge school, and so many people can feel alone just because, we're not really sure who to reach out to. So having a friend or a teacher, which I love that you have a teacher that you're able to rely on. That's awesome. Um, I recommend for all of you guys to have a safe person that's able to, if you do get into negative spirals, get you out of that negative spiral. Someone that you trust, someone that you have like a lot of love or respect for, and you're like, yeah, I believe everything they say. They're helping me. These were some really good ones. Thank you, everyone. Um, so one thing that's super helpful when dealing with these negative thoughts is challenging and reframing them. So a new thought, and said like if we were like back a couple slides ago with the presentation when like they were worried, a new thought would be, I am prepared well, I have practiced, and it's okay to make mistakes according to the growth mindset. New feeling is calm and hopeful to present. New behavior, whilst practicing deep breaths, you're able to go through your presentation with success. So, yeah, I'm still a little nervous in the presentation, but I'm doing those deep breathings and coping, like helping cope with myself. And not everyone, deep breathing doesn't work for everyone. Some people, there's like the tracing of your hands. Some people need to do that. If you don't know about the tracing of your hands, it is like you put your hand out, you do a breath in, out while you go down. Every time you go up, it's an inhale. Ooh, finger tap. I've heard of finger tapping too. Like, are you doing both, like a bilateral stimulation, or are you concentrating on one finger tapping? Viviana? I know people use finger tapping differently, so that's so cool. One finger tap. Nice. Yeah. I'm sure that's really regulating for you too. Um, thanks for sharing. Ooh, especially when presenting. Yeah, kind of like keeps you on pace. Those like in music, there's like the metronome in the back. I wonder if like your finger tapping can kind of be that for you. Yeah. Um, so then when it comes to reframing, oh my gosh, wait, that's actually what it is. Okay, that is cool. Maybe if you guys haven't tried the finger tapping, you can look over at what Viviana's saying, and this little like metronome situation could really be like a steady situation for you. That was very cool. I always appreciate people sharing their coping skills because mine are limited and they're only for me, like dealt with for me. So I'm not sure like what everyone benefits from. So it's really helpful. And I like to take some things and put them in my own toolbox too. Um, so with reframing, in order to help combat negative beliefs, practice reframing. So you can use the catch, check, and change method, which I love. Catch. So you're going to catch the negative trigger that's coming up. You're going to check it out, evaluate it, see if the thought has any accuracy by using factual evidence. And then you're going to change and replace the narrative with a more balanced and realistic alternative. So let's see this in practice. Um, So if we like back for the presentation one, catch the thought. So with the presentation, I'm nervous, hands sweating, all that. Catch the thought, I'm nervous that I'm not going to do good. So really, the trigger that's coming up is perfectionism, or maybe comparison, like a combination of both. We're going to check the thought, see if there's any accuracy by using factual evidence. So, like if I'm worried that I'm not going to do good on the presentation, what have my grades been like in the past? Do I typically do good on presentations? What is the rubric? Like, what are my expectations for me? So really evaluating it and then replacing it with a more balanced, realistic alternative like, oh, well, I've done presentations before. Even if it's not perfect, as long as I meet the expectations, I know that I'm going to be okay. So yeah. Now we're going to look at increasing motivation because a lot of times when your stress goes up, your motivation goes down. It is typically just what happens, unfortunately. So when you're increasing your motivation, just like what you guys were talking about, you got to remember that end goal, that why. Review your passions and values. Make sure that there's still something you believe in. I also really love the idea of creating a vision board. You can do this so easily on Canva or on like just with paper too, like a legal pad or printer paper. Um, and then give yourself a reward system. Life is hard. And kind of being like your own parent, you're able to spoil yourself. You can treat yourself in a healthy, financially conscious way, of course. Um, like maybe with that presentation, I was so nervous to do, I could get like an icy from Wawa after. It's like $3, very simple, but then it's something that I'm excited for after the presentation. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to do this. And then I get my slushy. But everyone does kind of different things. Like maybe you are like, when I get home after this like presentation, I am gonna just play video games for 2 hours straight and not let anyone talk to me. I'm just gonna focus on that. Or maybe you like books and you're like, once I finish this, I just need to read a book. I just need to be face to face with some paper. And all of those are good. So really what you're focusing on and like what you really want during this like the main thing to keep from this, I would say, is resilience. So, with a bounce back mentality, resilience gives you the ability to adapt, overcome, and grow despite challenges. So, like a thought would be 6 steps back, but 10 steps forward. So, yeah, you went back maybe even more than you thought you were, but you went forward so much too. Because with resilience, like I don't even know what's happening in y'all's lives, but I can only imagine every day is not easy. And when you're having some of those like hardships in your day to day, yeah, like we talked about, stress goes up, motivation goes down, but hopefully you have that like back of resilience. Like that's always going to be with you. Um, Resilience is helpful. It just keeps you going even when you don't really want to go. Um, and as you guys know, that's kind of what being an adult is, unfortunately. Um, so what are some strategies that help you that help you use? I kind of worded this weird. What are some strategies that you use to help you have a healthy work-life balance? Um, yeah, I'm curious. Like what's giving you guys a work-life balance? Anyone? I'll tell you guys one. Oh, I make sure I work out 4 times a week. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wow. Is that wow, that's so good. I'm very motivated and inspired by hearing that. Is that a way to like help you with your stress? Or like get like some energy out? I really love that. Yeah, stress management. Awesome. Oh my gosh. I've heard a lot of really good things with, I'm sure you guys all have though, but like working out, apparently, unfortunately, it does make you healthier. So even if you guys maybe don't like doing like the squats and the barbell, like a little walk outside, um, or pickleball. Everyone's playing pickleball right now. Tennis, swimming, paddleboarding. Um, you can do some outdoor things too. Thank you so much. Working out, yeah, that's a really good one. Working out also helps me relieve stress. In high school, I was on the wrestling team. So cool. So that would help relieve stress. I bet. I bet. Oh my gosh. That's really awesome. I just watched a movie like last night about wrestling. Like two girls who started a wrestling team. Um, so it's funny. But yeah, working out is a really good one. I've actually been trying to work out more. I canceled my gym subscription at Crunch because it was a little expensive. But I've been using my neighborhood gym and it's kind of meeting myself in the middle, like a compromise, like not as big as I would want it to be, but it's still something to get that energy out. Um, and kind of help with that stress management. I'm curious from some of you guys, are there any others besides working out for you guys? Does anyone have any pets or friends or cooks? I try to make sure that I'm fully present and focusing on whatever I'm doing. Wow. I feel like that presence probably really helps with that sense of control too. Like, I can only focus on this moment, so I'm gonna give my all to this moment. That's really awesome. And and cats. Cats definitely help. Um, I have a cat. His name's Anderson. I love him. We're very pro animals at Sark. If you guys ever want to like check out our office, you totally should. Boundaries and knowing when to put work in its place. Knowing when to put work in its place. Wow. Yeah. Boundaries are really, really, really helpful for that work-life event or that work-life balance. Yeah. That's a good one. I wish I had included that in my PowerPoint because, yeah, I mean, boundaries, like whether it's for your job or even for your own self. Like, I can't do this task until I finish this. Or, hey, like, I can't go out with you tonight because I need to have a self-care day. Or even, I need to do my homework. So, yeah, thank you for showing that to us too. Because, we've talked a lot about things that you can control. Boundaries are a thing you can control. So, I know we don't have that long, but I wanted us to do a little activity where you write out a thought that you would like to challenge, examine it, that catch, like that catch, check, change. I want you guys to do that. Really quick, I'm just gonna set like a 2-minute timer. Um, so write out a thought you would like to challenge, examine if it has any truth to it, and then change slash replace the thought with a more balanced perspective. I'm gonna do this too, but I'm gonna set the timer. And then we can share if you guys feel comfortable. So 2 minutes, go. Okay, you guys have about a minute and 30 seconds. Okay. That was time. That was a quick 2 minutes. Does anyone feel comfortable sharing? I did one about my cat. So I just said that I feel like I'm not spending enough time with him. And then my truth to it, it does have a little bit of truth because I'm not home the most, but I play with him a lot. And I feed him and I give him water. So he has all the things that he needs. And we play like at least twice a day. So when I was challenging and replacing that thought, I put that the time that I spend with him is valuable and that I stay present. I kind of use some of Rebecca's pointers. Like I do try to stay present with my cat. I know it's funny to be talking about him like that, but that was mine. Just a quick little one. Does anyone have any that they would want to share? A thought that they challenged? I'll wait a couple seconds in case you're typing. Ooh, thank you, Viviana. I would like to challenge myself by hanging out with my friends more. I work a lot, so I've started pushing away my friends. I need to remember that healthy relationships help you grow. So true. Yes. Yeah, like I feel like we can always be in that like capitalism mindset. Like I need the money, I need to work. And then we forget that we're supposed to be laughing and enjoying our people around us, like the people that we love. So I love that you were able to notice this, and I wish you luck putting some of those relationships first now. Does anyone else have one that they would want to share? That was a really good one. Thank you so much. Okay. Fair. Not everyone wants to share, and that's okay. Um, so then that was kind of like what you guys come up with as we did that. And then so we do have 2 minutes. I don't know how it really flew by. But if you can please give us some feedback on the presentation, that would be super helpful. Let me know what I can improve on by scanning this QR code. Was the slides